two albums that I created because there were so many songs and things that had the themes that I really wanted to express. So I broke them into two albums. I will share the first one here today, and then the playlist number two, basically, I will share as a second video. So with that said, let's have a listen to The Light That Glows.
Change is knocking at your door. A new dawn whispers, hear it roar. Release the weight, let it go. Inside you burns a steady flame, a quiet voice, it calls your name. Within you there's a light that glows, a soul that feels, a heart that knows the world is turning. Watch it rise, reset to truth. No more disguise. Breathing deep, the storm will pass. Feel the stillness, make it last. You are safe, you are whole. Fear is fading, love takes hold. Your story is written, brave and bold. Within you there's a light that glows, a soul that feels, a heart that knows the world is turning. Watch it rise, reset to truth. No more disguise.
I love that song, Light That Glows, right? Because the world is turning. The world is shifting. So I love these particular lyrics. Change is knocking at your door. A new dawn whispers, hear it roar. Release the weight. Let it go. Inside you burns a steady flame, a quiet voice, it calls your name. Within you there's a light that glows, a soul that feels, a heart that knows. The world is turning. Watch it rise. Reset to truth. No more disguise. There's no more disguises. That's why authenticity and creative expression are such a part of the divine creative heroes and heroines' journey, right? It's time to live our light out loud, right? And that light that glows is an eternal light that is a part of every single soul in a God being on the planet. And it's so important that we remember that we have this within, as more quantumly accelerates in the changes that we're all going to be experiencing together. So, beautiful song, Light That Glows. Okay, the next song is The Calm in the Storm. Let's have a listen.
but I stand still. A broken heart, yet a stronger will. The clouds, they whisper secrets to the sky. I've learned to fall, I've learned to rise. I am the calm in the storm, the fire when the cold winds swarm. I keep rising, I keep rising through the ashes. I'm Memories linger, they light the dark. Each scar a story, each wound a spark. In the silence I hear the divine, a knowing voice that says you'll be fine. Every shadow fades with time, every mountain I will climb. I am the calm in the storm, the fire when the cold winds swarm. I keep rising, I keep rising through the ashes. I'm reborn. Heroes are made in the quietest hour. Gnostic knowers, they find their power. They carry the weight, they hold the flame. Through joy, through sorrow, they stay the same.
I love that song, The Calm in the Storm. It's a very timely song for these times. And I love these lyrics. The rain falls heavy, but I stand still. A broken heart, yet a stronger will. The clouds, they whisper secrets to the sky. I've learned to fall. I've learned to rise. I am the calm in the storm, the fire when the cold winds swarm. I keep rising through the ashes. I'm reborn. This is a rebirth. And we don't earn kind of like the phoenix's new wings unless we go through it, right? And these are part of our soul test. You know, for a long time, I spoke on my channel about admission is by vibration. And I really feel more and more with the lens of the last few years is that we truly are admitting ourselves. And it's not just a yes or no, do you want to be admitted? And we'd say yes, right? I want to be admitted to divine creation again, right? I want to return home to the garden. It's more than that. Admission is by vibration means that we are learning and growing and releasing that which is of density and that which is of the 3D matrix. And we are choosing the thoughts, the feelings, the emotions, the frequencies, the vibrations that are consistent with this return, with the garden itself. We have to become frequency specific to the garden we seek to return to, right? And the song, The Calm in the Storm, is very much is part of that energy I see, is that I keep rising, I keep rising. Not that I'm working hard to rise. I'm actually letting go that which does not belong with who I truly am. It's a releasing of that which does not belong. It goes back to the metaphor of releasing the sandbags from a hot air balloon. What was that movie? There was that movie a long time ago that I talked about. But in any case, they had to release the sandbags so that they could fly higher, right? They weren't taking sandbags in. That wasn't the work. The work was to let go what was holding them back. And that's the admission is by vibration. That's the deeper lens that I'm seeing in it more and more, is that only we can do the inner work to let go the heavier and denser patterns that we carry inside us from simply being a resident in a 3D matrix over time, over lifetimes. And therefore, when we do release those sandbags, when we do reclaim the truth of who we are and we express with authenticity who we really are, we are reborn, right? There's a rebirth occurring, and it's simultaneous. The releasing and the rebirthing are happening at the same time. Okay, song number 3, Eve is Rising. Let's have a listen.
They wrote her out with ink so black, a story bent, no turning back. But truth comes loud beneath the page, a song that breaks the iron cage. She whispers soft, a lion's roar. Her steps will shake the ancient floor. Eve is rising, watch her flame. Burn the lies, reclaim her name. Knower of light, her soul untamed. Eve is rising, never the same. They called her shadow, blamed her fall, but she was the spark that lit it all. A sovereign heart
That song, Eve is Rising, is a song not just about Eve, but about all of the Eves that have experienced any version of her story, right? They wrote her out with ink so black, a story bent, no turning back, but truth hums loud beneath the page, a song that breaks the iron cage. She whispers soft, a lion's roar, her steps will shake the ancient floor. Eve is rising, watch her flame, burn the lies and reclaim her name. Knower of light, her soul untamed. Eve is rising, never the same. There's a knower within Eve. There's a knower inside the Eves inside us, right? We aren't victims for having fallen into this realm in our own ways, whatever our soul stories are. We all admitted ourselves in some way, shape, or form to this matrix, to this realm, to experience this. But perhaps as knowers, perhaps we admitted ourselves as knowers, knowing that we would forget. Eve was written into our stories the way some narrator gave us that story, and it has been repeated and repeated. But I think to admit ourselves into a realm that we know we will forget ourselves, that we know we will be tricked by the Archon energy, that we know what will take place here, right? It takes a very strong soul. It takes a deep knower. It takes a courage like no other, right? And having been in this realm where we did forget for a time who we are and the Archon's rule and the influence and the infiltrations into all communities in all walks of life, in all cultures, in all times here in this matrix, and also into our own thoughts, into our patterns, into our ancestral patterns. The Archon influence has been everywhere. The courage, the strength of soul it requires to be in a realm like this is off the charts. And I might say that Eve may have been a knower, not the innocent in the innocence the way we have been told she was. I think there's a divine innocence at a level that maybe we can't even yet understand, but I think this story has more information. And I think there's a strength in Eve that resides in us, those that have been scapegoated, those that have been attacked, those who have been misunderstood, those who have walked the path that is different than everybody else around them, that listens to the inner call, that follows the inner light, right? We are Eves who are rising. It's so powerful. And we are burning the lies. We are clearing the illusions out of our own belief systems, out of our own allegiances. And we are knowing our light within. So powerful, these songs. It's not just about an Eve outside us. It's about an Adam and Eve and garden and tree of knowledge and so many things. That's the template of the story of humanity that I think we're reclaiming for ourselves, and it will make a lot more sense as we uncover more of the truth of that story. I myself am on an exploration, obviously, in these messages, and I appreciate you journeying this with me because I believe that you too are here to remember. Okay, the next song is called The Way of the Awakened Soul. Let's have a listen.
We walk through shadows thick as night, chasing dreams without a light, falling, rising, breaking through. We wore the scars of battles fought, but every step a lesson taught. The way was waiting, always true. We've climbed the mountains, touched the sky. It's time to let our spirits fly. The way of the awakened soul, where the light of truth makes us whole. We've come so far, we paid the toll. It's time to rise, it's
It's a powerful song, The Way of the Awakened Soul, right? Let's just listen to those lyrics for a second. We walked through shadows thick as night, chasing dreams without a light, falling, rising, breaking through. We wore the scars of battles fought, but every step a lesson taught. The way was waiting, always true. It's always been there, always. We've climbed the mountains, touched the sky. It's time to let our spirits fly. And then the chorus, the way of the awakened soul, where the light of truth makes us whole. We've come so far, we've paid the toll. It's time to rise. It's time to know. You know, it's interesting with that release of the message this week from Donald Trump, the president of the United States, talking about a med bed that was going to help heal humanity, and that would be, these centers would be emerging, basically. I think that is also like the light as it's activating inside us, like in our own ways, when we embrace this emerging light, what is seeking to emerge is the way of the awakened soul. What is seeking to emerge inside is the light that we know, the truth of light and the light of truth and the light of gnosis. I wonder if that's also paving the way for the wholeness that we are, and creating a kind of our own cradle of a med bed that our own body temples could be. I would imagine that the technology that we need outside of us right now, the world needs healing, obviously, but people who tap into songs and insights and awareness like what I talk about here on this channel is an activation in its own way of a greater light emanating from within, which I would have to imagine creates healing for us, and it creates a path to wholeness. And to me, that's some of what that song is singing about, the way of the awakened soul. Okay, next song is Castle in the Sky. I dedicate this song to Dr. Paul Panzica for the topic, for the research, for the writings, and for, just sharing with us in his teachings the way he so generously does. I'm so grateful. So let's have a listen to Castle in the Sky.
Where silence grew loud through storms of the ages, they carry the crowd. Visionaries dreaming, seers holding a flame. The castle in the sky whispers your name. They're here, they're near, they bring the light, make it clear.
I love that song. So powerful. It's so sings some insights from the podcast that Dr. Paul Panzica and I shared. I love these lyrics. Rising from the shadows where silence grew loud, through storms of the ages, they carried the crowd. Visionaries dreaming, seers holding the flame. The castle in the sky whispers your name. And then the chorus, "O castle in the sky where the dreamers fly, they've come to remind the powers inside." The powers inside. Through time they appear, they've always been here. The Aquarian age, let the truth draw near. Are those the martyrs, the knowers, that the laurel's turning green from the ashes of the martyrs? I believe we are in a time of that prophecy, 700 years from the time that that last Cathar adept spoke those words as he was being burned at the stake. 700 years was 2021. And here we are talking about castles in the sky and with Paul's deep insights, but it's so profound because the power's always been inside. The seer must cultivate these divine connections and know the truth beyond illusions. And the castles in the sky and the communities in those castles who would live and gather and grow their food together. And there was such collaboration and synergy. I could just feel the energy. I've had some lifetimes like that for sure. So the memories are coming back. But I wonder if you remember. And I hope you like that song, Castle in the Sky. And so it's such gratitude to Dr. Paul Panzica for bringing these insights through for all of us to marinate in. Okay, next song is Eve is the Essence. Let's have a listen.
Eve is the essence, the spark in the flame, the whisper of wisdom that calls out your name. Roots in the earth, yet her eyes hold the sky. She's the knower, she's the dreamer. We're all the seekers, all believers. Deep
Beautiful song. Eve is the essence, right? Essence always has that root word of a scene in there too. That's never lost on me. But how about these lyrics? She's the knower, she's the dreamer. We are all the seekers, all believers. And then Adam and Eve, they were always the whole, right? Two sides of one story, one soul to console. Divine in their union, the mirror of stars. They're the past, they're the now. The future shows us how. It's like I feel in this song, there's this energy of Adam and Eve returning to the consciousness of seekers and divine creative heroes on the pathway home to the garden, right? We are weaving that divine masculine and divine feminine back together, right? No longer will we live a separated existence. No longer will we live the dualistic existence where one pole is fighting or warring the other pole, right? Though we don't need to wrestle ourselves. The divine feminine and the divine masculine are weaving back together into one whole, which was the original story. It was wholeness. And Adam and Eve are showing us the way. We know some of the version of the story of their past. We know our current now. And many of us are feeling like the post-ascension story that's the future. But that future post-ascension story is unfolding now. And we are the weavers of Adam and Eve within ourselves. So Eve is the essence, right, is a really beautiful song singing to me about us being the knower, us being the dreamer, us being the seekers and believers, us being the wholeness that their union is. Powerful. Okay, next song is The Trinity of Eve. You can hear that I'm a seeker who's seeking to know the deeper story of Eve and Adam in the garden. I'm seeking to know the deeper story of the divine feminine that has been so suppressed in a lot of these captured texts, sacred texts. Even in the Bible, there's some captured stories in there. And then there's the truth of God in the Bible as well, in my opinion. That's my opinion. And I think we're learning to discern the truth from lies in so many aspects of our lives. But I'm really seeking to know the deeper story of Eve and the deeper story of how so many powerful, beautiful, God unified women, divine feminine souls, and also masculine souls. I mean, it's not just women who've been scapegoated, but some of the women have been in many ways more brutally scapegoated or written out of the story, or a story was written about them to make an example of them so that humanity would never want to be them. And what if it was those souls that were the targets of the archonic energy that we actually need to look to discover deeper aspects of their story, to see the breadcrumbs, the seeds that they planted for us, to follow all the way home, to source inside us. They were the knowers. I think Eve has a lot of messages for us. And so this is me exploring the Trinity of Eve. I wonder if it resonates for you. And maybe that serpent isn't what we thought it was. Maybe the tree of knowledge of good and evil isn't what we always thought it was. I'm just asking questions. I haven't made a full discovery yet, but I invite you into being a seeker as well, if maybe there's a message or a seed from Eve for you too.
She held the seed of all that breathes in her hand, the pulse of trees. The sky bent low to kiss her feet, a quiet storm, a heartbeat deep. What if the serpent wasn't a sin? What if creation starts with it? Her gaze was bold. The earth it turned beneath her sway. She shaped the stars with words she'd say. What if the fall was meant to rise? What if the truth is in disguise? Oh,
So how about these lyrics? She held the seed of all that breathes in her hand. Wow. I mean, that's so powerful. It's so vast, that statement. She held the seed of all that breathes in her hand. The pulse of trees, the sky bent low to kiss her feet, a quiet storm, a heartbeat deep. What if the serpent wasn't a sin? What if creation actually starts within? Eve, you hold the key, the garden blooms eternally. There's something in this story that I think we need a bigger picture. And I think Eve holds some keys for humanity. Just as Sophia holds some keys, just as Mary Magdalene holds some keys, and Mother Mary holds keys, and many of the disciples and apostles that spent time with Jesus hold some keys. There are many characters that hold some keys and bigger stories for us. Noah, Moses, there are so many characters that I have gotten curious about over these last several years, and I want to know them deeper. The knower in me is seeking to know a deeper truth about them. And maybe I'm here to pique your curiosity to see if you resonate with their stories, if you see your story in their stories, or if you believe too that perhaps we have incomplete stories or stories that were tampered with and that there may be more truths to unveil or to be discovered at least in the coming years. Won't that be interesting? Okay, the next song is called The Way Home.
The calm in the storm, the eye of the sea, a whisper inside saying just let it be. I find my feet, I find my way. Gnosis is the way, the knowing through the dark. A fire in the soul, a quiet little spark. Fear and doubt may roar, but they can't stay long. Inner remembrance sings the strongest song. Truth's not a shadow, it's the light that breaks through mirrors and smoke, through all the fakes. I hear the pulse, a rhythm so deep. The heart remembers what the mind can't keep. Gnosis is the way, the knowing through the dark. The fire in the soul, a quiet little spark. Fear and doubt may roar, but they can't stay long. Inner remembrance sings the strongest song. The way home, it's not out there. It's the echo in your own prayer. A map drawn in the lines of your hand. The courage to rise, the strength to stand. Gnosis is the way, the knowing through the dark. A fire in the soul, a quiet little spark. Fear and doubt may roar, but they can't stay long. Inner remembrance sings the strongest song.
Okay, I love that chorus. Gnosis is the way, the knowing through the dark, a fire in the soul, a quiet little spark. Fear and doubt may roar, but they can't stay long. Inner remembrance sings the strongest song. Truth's not a shadow, it's the light that breaks through mirrors and smoke, through all the fakes. I hear the pulse, a rhythm so deep, the heart remembers what the mind can't keep. The heart is the knower. The heart is connected with the divine feminine inside us, and it is the feminine that is connected with the truth in all realms. It's the feminine that is non-linear. It's the feminine inside us that's connected with our right brain, that's connected with the infinite, right? There's many blessings and gifts of Adam, and there's many gifts of the left brain. And I'm sure there are gifts in this linear realm. I'm such a non-linear thinker. I'm so in my right brain all the time, most of the time. But I really feel the pulse of this song about Gnosis is the way. We enter that through the Sacred Heart Center. We can access that through music, right? And through the light of the Divine Feminine, where inner remembrance sings the strongest song. And also, we are also in this time where we're discerning through the mirrors and the smoke and all the shadows around us. We can see the fakes. We're starting to see it more easily, more readily. And even people that have not been practicing these skills, this time of the greatest awakening in all realms across all time and space, it's for all of us. So everybody is going through this. Everybody is going to be given lessons and opportunities for discernment and opportunities for remembrance and opportunities to connect with the light within and find the way home through the heart, through the feminine, through the infinite, through union of the divine masculine and feminine again. Powerful. So beautiful. Okay, the next song is Divine Feminine Rising.
Ah We've sowed seeds under the pale moonlight. Mother Mary held the stars in her hand. Magdalene danced across the desert sand. They saw through the veils, they broke every chain. They carried the truth in love's holy name. They rose, they rose, they rose above the storm. Shattered the shadows, their hearts were reborn. They shine, the codes are alive. Divine feminine rising, the world will revive. Illusions crumbled where their feet would tread. Wisdom bloomed where others saw only dread. Oh, the river sang, the mountains bowed low. Their power surged, an eternal glow. They spoke to the soul, they healed with their grace. They turned every wound into sacred space. They rose, they rose, they rose above the storm. Shattered the shadows, their hearts were reborn. They shine, the codes are alive. Divine feminine rising, the world will revive.
Okay, this song is so beautiful, and it's such an invitation to really tap into the energies of Sophia, Eve, Mother Mary, Mary Magdalene, as these guides in our journeys home, in the divine feminine that's rising inside all of us, to know the knowings that our heart centers can access in the realms of the infinite, in the realms of God's true creation, beyond the linear confines that the archons created for us here, that the entrapment, right, the incarceration we're breaking beyond. So these lyrics, Sophia whispered in the wind tonight, Eve sowed seeds under the pale moonlight. Mother Mary held the stars in her hand. Magdalene danced across the desert sand. They saw through the veils, they broke every chain. They carried the truth in love's holy name. They rose, they rose, they rose above the storm, shattered the shadows, their hearts were reborn. They shine. They are knowers. No matter what their stories are or how they were attempted to be depicted, they were knowers, and they had to be dealt with in our literature, in the sacred texts, so that not too many people would go seeking their counsel, their way, their guidance, the way they embodied their knowing. I think they are powerful forces. They are beautiful souls that are coming back into my consciousness. I'm sure they're in the consciousness of many people who would listen to a video like this. And I hope just bringing them back to consciousness in a song, musically, lyrically, and in conversations together, we can really call forth the knowings that they knew, that they stood for, that they embodied, that they lived at a time that few had the capacity to grasp or to understand or to integrate or to embody themselves, right? What a gift that we can tap into this now in our journeys home, in our great return. Okay, the next song is The Sacred Blueprint.
What if the garden was a map we misread? A cosmic puzzle, not a storybook bed. What if the fruit wasn't knowledge at all, but a seed in our hearts, waiting for the call? And the archons smiled, weaving their lies, shadows on the light, truth in disguise. What if the blueprint was ours to reclaim, a sacred design in every name, not lost, not stolen, but waiting to be unlocked by the courage of you and me. What if innocence wasn't weakness or shame, but the power to see through every false claim? What if the serpent was never the thief, but the mirror reflecting our deepest belief? And the archons laughed, feeding their greed, blindfolds of fear, planting their seed. What if the blueprint was ours to reclaim, a sacred design in every name, not lost, not stolen, but waiting to be unlocked by the courage of you and me. What if the blueprint was ours to reclaim, a sacred design in every name, not lost, not stolen, but waiting to be unlocked by the courage of you and me.
Beautiful song, The Sacred Blueprint. I love this question. What if the garden was a map we misread, a cosmic puzzle, not a storybook bed? What if the fruit wasn't knowledge at all, but a seed in our hearts waiting for the call? And the archons smiled, weaving their lies, shadows on the light, truth in disguise. What if the blueprint was ours to reclaim, a sacred design in every name, not lost, not stolen, but waiting to be unlocked by the courage of you and me? This is what I believe Paul is talking about with the seers, the seership that we discussed in the podcast. This is what Paul does when he writes on his blog at beyondthesoulsmeridian.org, his articles. He's a deep seeker. He's unlocking with courage. He's unlocking this cosmic map, right? We've heard many times, I'm sure you have, that the truth is hidden in plain sight. The story of Adam and Eve isn't just a nighttime story, right? A little children's story, right? It may appear that way. And of course, it may have also been altered or, sections rewritten or segments taken out, right? We don't know what we don't know yet. But what is fascinating to me is that the archons and archon minions and cabal members who've tampered with truth and manipulated it and rewritten it and overwritten things and into lies, right? Fabrications to facilitate the illusion, right? But also the truth still shines everywhere and in sacred texts. And it might be in parables. Jesus spoke in parables, less threatening to the rulers of the day, although we still know what happened to Jesus. But he spoke in simple parables where the truth was in there. You had to listen deeply. It could just seem like a simple little bedtime story, or you could listen for what he was really teaching us, right? And the same thing is true in really beautiful songs or really beautiful artwork. You know, there were so many messengers who were trying to tell us the way things truly are. And it's only the seeker who has the courage to go looking, who will unlock these cosmic maps, unlock these cosmic puzzles, and see that the truth was hiding in plain sight the whole time. The sacred blueprint of God and of creation and the truth of the illusion that we've been living in has also been hidden in plain sight. But only the seekers who go looking with courage and fortitude and break from the pack oftentimes, right? Those are the ones who find these precious, treasured threads that when we piece them together, we can see through a bigger picture. And that bigger picture, in my opinion, the bigger we can make our picture, the more easily we leave and exit the illusions, and we enter through vibration. Admission is by vibration, the true timeline and realm and creation of God. We return to the garden. We find our way home. Beautiful song, one of my favorites, The Sacred Blueprint. Okay, this next song, Eve the Weaver.
Like whispers, her fear long gone. Through shadows deep, she carved the sky, a rebel's grace, a lion's cry. Eve the knower, Eve the flame, she lit the path, she changed the game through woven light. She built the road for hearts to carry, for love to hold. The world threw stones, but she held fast. Her strength a beacon, her doubt surpassed. With every thread, she sewed a spark, a tapestry to guide us through the dark. The weight she bore, the stars she knew, times the might to let hope shine through. Eve the weaver, the bold, the free, she wove the fabric of you and me. Eve the knower, Eve the flame, she lit the path, she changed the game through woven light. She built the road for hearts to carry, for love to hold. Eve the weaver of everything, her threads still hum, her spirit sings through every heart,
So many beautiful gems in the song, in the lyrics, but I love the chorus, of course. Eve the knower, Eve the flame. There's that divine spark. She lit the path. She changed the game. Through woven light, she built the road for hearts to carry, for love to hold. The world threw stones. They scapegoated her, right? She's who you don't want to be. But she held fast, her strength a beacon, her doubts surpassed. With every thread she sewed a spark, a tapestry to guide us through the dark. Oh, the weight she bore, the stars she knew, she spun the night to let hope shine through. Eve the weaver, the bold, the free, she wove the fabric of you and me. What if sewn into this very existence, in the tapestry and fabric of our lives, in our deepest ancestry, if Eve wove the truth inside us, which is what the Gnostics must have known, the Cathars must have known, the heretics already knew. What if there have been souls through time who have held the knowing, who could read the codes in the tapestry of Eve, Eve's weavings that she left as breadcrumbs for those who would seek and follow. Perhaps the tree of knowledge of good and evil wasn't disobeying God, but was the very thing that was going to set all trapped souls free, right? What if it wasn't the forbidden fruit, but the tree that was meant for all of us? I mean, just one narrative shift, and our whole fabric of existence changes, right? The Gnostics write about things such as this. I'm in the beginnings of some exploration into the story. I feel like I very much remember these women. There's something in my codes that I've been tapped into Eve for some time and with Mother Mary for a long time. And there's something in the seeds they've sown that we can more easily and readily access, I think now, because the veils are lifting. And so I, for one, am very curious and very excited and very honored to follow the seeds and the breadcrumbs of Eve, who has left us the tale, who has told us the story, who has given us the truth and guided us home. But we have to have the courage and the fortitude to be the seekers and the knowers who know beyond the illusions and the stories we've been given. Okay, 3 more songs, and then we're going to close out this video for October 2025. The next song is Waves to Freedom.
The ground is shaking, hearts ignite. A spark of truth cuts through the night. The world's a stage where shadows play, but the rising sun will light the way. Through these shifts we're standing tall. Breaking chains will catch the
What a great theme song for our ascension process in these times, right? The ground is shaking, hearts ignite, a spark of truth cuts through the night. The world's a stage where shadows play, but the rising sun will light the way. Through these shifts, we're standing tall, breaking chains will catch the call. We are free, we are sovereign, riding waves to the horizon. With faith to fortify the soul, truth will guide us, make us whole. We are surfing waves to our emancipation, to our freedom, to our liberation from this matrix's incarcerations and all the illusions and games that have been running for centuries. It is so beautiful to be here at this time, making history with our attention, with the direction of our energy, of knowing the knowings that we know that we are here to be liberated. We are here as knowers of knowings, like Eve and Sophia and Mother Mary and Mary Magdalene and many others, right? Many others who have anchored in the codes through time, who have seeded the truth amidst all the illusion. The truth has continued to prevail even though the illusions have been way louder and way more, in some ways, painful, and all the corruption that has been seeded through the illusions. The truth still stands tall, and the truth is rising now with the full backing of the galactics, our spiritual councils, and with the full backing of God and Gaia, ready to liberate this entire realm and ready to liberate all sentient souls here. And that means humanity, and that means animals in the animal kingdom, and the cetacean beings and the ocean creatures, like all sentient life as well. All of us have been incarcerated, and all of us are surfing these rapid and amplified waves of ascension and freedom right now. Okay, the next song is The Great Remembering.
What if the stars told a different tale? What if the sun carried a secret veil? The maps we followed, drawn upside down, the truths we they're breaking ground. What if the mirror isn't a wall? What if we rise instead of fall? We are remembering the light we knew, rewriting stories, weaving
Another favorite song for me on this playlist. So I love these lyrics. What if the stars told a different tale? What if the sun carried a secret veil? The maps we followed drawn upside down. The truths we buried, they're breaking ground. What if the mirror isn't a wall? What if we rise instead of fall? We are remembering the light we knew, rewriting stories, weaving them true. The great awakening, a sacred call. What if it's love that built it all? What if we have maps that have been drawn upside down? For us, for the illusion. What if the truths that were buried are breaking ground and rising? Right? What if we are rising instead of falling? What if we now remember the light we knew and the stories are being rewritten so that we are weaving them true? The great awakening is a sacred call. It's happening. It's happening. And I believe truly that love built it all. The strength, the fortitude, the stamina, the persistence. It's amazing what all souls in humanity have lived time and time again in this crazy, so challenging, so thick with layers of illusions matrix, right? But we are setting ourselves free. We are here at the time of witnessing, living, experiencing, and embodying the emancipation of the greatest awakening of all time. It's extraordinary. Beautiful song, The Great Remembering. And the last one is, We Are Made for This. Let's have a listen.
Unshaken name through shadows deep, we carve the way with every step. We light the grave. We are made for this. We came for this. We weave the light through the abyss. Courageous faith, unyielding truth, fortified gnosis, eternal you. We are the sparks in the darkened sky, the watchers who see with an ageless eye. Our whispers grow into mighty roars, awakening hearts, opening doors. Remember the stars, they're written in us, the timeless fire, the endless trust. We are the rememberers, bold and free, shining the light for humanity. We are made for this. We came for this. We weave the light through the abyss. Courageous faith, unyielding truth, fortified gnosis, eternal you. Eternal you.
Such a powerful reminder, and of course the last song in this playlist, but it's such an important frequency that we all need to hear, that we are made for this. So the lyrics that I wanted to highlight are, we are the roots in the ancient ground. We are the echoes, the lost and found. Through the storm, we hold the flame, unbroken hearts, unshaken name. Through shadows deep, we carve the way. With every step, we light the gray. We are made for this. We came for this. We weave the light through the abyss, courageous faith, unyielding truth, fortified gnosis, eternal youth. We're in the time of the great return. We're in the time of the most epic emancipation of emancipations. We are in the time of like the Declaration of Independence. I've been posting about this at least since 2016. It's been a while, right? But this emancipation was not in a 24-hour emancipation, and it's still going to take some time. There's the revelations of the unpleasantness that we are emerging from, and there are revelations about suppressed technologies and things that the archons have made sure that humanity and sentient life did not have access to here, or else we would have been thriving. The archonic energy thrives and feeds on our pain. So anybody not in pain was not feeding them. So all that is good and all that it could have helped humanity and all that would have restored us to our natural, divine, perfectly healthy blueprints and helped us to thrive has been kept away from us, hidden. Maybe hidden in plain sight, sometimes not hidden in plain sight. Some of this information people had to go digging for through time. But what a gift it is that many of us who can embrace the truth that we are made for this, that we came for this, that we are summoning in the light of this emancipation. We are summoning in and anchoring in the powerful liberation that is occurring, right? This great awakening is us. We are the stars in the starlit sky, those who've carried the codes and the knowings. And there's that prophecy again, the Cathar prophecy, right? That in 700 years, the laurels would turn green from the ashes of the martyrs, right? The knowers who knew, the many martyrs who were sacrificed in one way or another because they knew too much. They knew the codes of emancipation then. They knew the codes to exit the matrix and the illusion then. And that was too threatening, right, to the agendas of the archons and the biblical serpent frequencies and however we describe that. There has been a darkness on this planet that has been heavily invested in us not remembering, in us not thriving. But the beautiful thing is that we are living in a time that it is time to rise. It is time to thrive. We came for this. We're made for this. Let's remember this as we ride through these stormy energies of the last quarter of 2025, as more of the old structures and systems and illusions come down, and as seed plantings of what is seeking to emerge that is going to help humanity to rise and thrive in a completely new age of health and prosperity and well-being for all. So I want to thank you to everybody who stayed with me today until the end, and the people who've tuned into the tale of the divine creative heroine, listened to the inspirations from Dr. Terry, and I talked about some of the themes I wanted to highlight for October 2025. I share with you the garden insights. We reviewed all these powerful and beautiful songs that can journey with you as we ride the waves to freedom in October, November, and December to the end of the year. And I want to invite you, if you haven't joined my Substack page, you can either use frequencywriter.com, which many of you are familiar with. You can also use frequencywriter.substack.com. Either of those addresses will take you to my hub on Substack, which is where that's where I'm posting everything now, the past, present, and future. And I invite you to join as a free subscriber. And you can also choose to join as a paid subscriber now. In the paid subscription, we can delve deeper and explore the truth of Eve and the garden, the truth of Sophia and Mary Magdalene, the truth of Mother Mary, other Gnostics, other characters in these biblical stories. Noah, I was very connected with for a long time there, shared many messages. I may double back because I think they were knowers who knew in a time where most were sleeping. Those are people and souls that I want to connect with. I want to connect deeper with their stories. I want to piece together a bigger picture of their stories. We're going to explore some of that in my subscription on Substack. And I'm also going to be looking at emerging potentials of Eve's messages to guide us now today. Also those same biblical characters, but I particularly feel connected with Eve, so I'll be bringing through a lot of messages from her. Stages and aspects of the divine creative's heroes and heroines' journey in real time as we're experiencing these shifts and changes we're all going through. I want to continue to explore and celebrate creativity and creative expression as divine lifelines and as divine prana in these times, and celebrate when people are engaged in creative projects. I still haven't figured out how to turn on the comments in there, but I will soon. And lastly, of course, navigating changes in these ascension times. We can have a little bit of a discussion, so I'm looking forward to that. You can find me at Color the Magic on YouTube. You can find me at wholesoulschoolandfoundation.org, and that's a nonprofit, and we have many, many podcasts in the archives there about the hero's journey, and specifically Joseph Campbell's hero's journey, and lots of guests in different podcasts talking about their experiences with that. You can find me on Rumble and X.com and True Social and on Telegram, and also on Spotify, your favorite audio streaming platforms. And so I would invite you to please subscribe and share this video with others who can benefit from these insights and these messages. And lastly, I do have a few openings for people who are interested in life coaching with me. So if you have interest, please email me at frequencywriter@gmail.com. I would love to connect with you. And with that said, thank you for visiting with me today till the end, and I will see you again soon for more inspirational podcasts and messages and musings. I hope you have a beautiful month of October. Remember to go back to the basics at any time you need to. You can make it a daily practice of your conscious breathing, your awareness is first preparedness, your divine flexibility, your divine creativity, time in nature, time in the stillness, all of those basic skills, connecting with the divine, connecting with your spirit guides, your counsel, and connecting with the divine feminine frequencies, and connecting with the knower within you who knows what you know beyond the confines of linear time. You have knowings within you, in your heart center, in the light, in your divine spark. And all of these messages today hopefully empowered you and inspired you and fortified you to connect with the light within, to connect with the knower within you that knows. So blessings, everyone. I'll see you soon. Bye for now.